Hello, Misfits, and welcome. Today we're doing another episode of Tyrant of Zhentil Keep, this solo adventure that I've kind of been playing through. It's been a lot of fun. I haven't done a lot of these. I've only done like a couple episodes of this particular game, but this is a continuation of the previous solo adventure that I did, which was Death Knight Squire. So if you haven't watched that, be sure to go check it out. But we're continuing with this story. It's been a lot of fun. Just to give you a little bit of a recap, the last episode kind of ended up being like a shopping episode. I bought some potions and some equipment and kind of got a lay of the land and kind of talked to a bunch of different people in town and kind of figured out what was going on. Tried to figure out what was going on. There's still a lot of questions. So the last thing that happened is I went to the ruins in the southern part of the city and happened upon this, like, what essentially looks like a stone golem. So we're gonna fight that. Yeah, and we'll see how that goes. I also want to point out that upon looking at my notes and stuff, I should have rolled for a few random encounters to happen while I was wandering the city. So we're gonna do those here in a second. But first, let's roll initiative. And if you're wondering why we're having this instead of your normal campaign, it's because me and my players were all kind of having a reunion together and weren't able to play through our normal game because we were spending time learning how to play Pathfinder. This is being recorded way ahead of time, so I don't know for certain, but I will probably try to record at least the audio of that experience. We'll see how that goes. I don't know if that's gonna happen. It's just real difficult to get my equipment all the way down there. So we'll see. It's always nice to see your virtual friends in person, but I didn't want to leave you guys without some sort of something to enjoy on a Friday, so here you go. First, I need to roll initiative for myself and this monster. So let's do that and see how we do. I have this very fun kind of like eyeball die that I'll use for myself for right now, and I'll use this bright yellow guy for the golem. All right. Well, he got a natural 20 on his initiative, and I got 9 plus anything? Probably. 10. Wow. Actually, technically, he gets 23. Great. So that's good. We like that. Let's go ahead and move me to a map. Let's get the music going. Let's get all of that started, and we'll see if I survive this encounter. All right. This guy has an AC of 16. He's got 35 hit points. We'll see how we do with this. Now, I haven't taken any damage today, and I have some potions and stuff. I think I even have... Well, I think I did use a spell. What did I use? I used command on somebody earlier today. But other than that, we should be good. All right, so... The bizarre creature stands before you, rubble falling from its lumbering form as it raises its arms, causing the very stone of the ruins to rise into the air. Cool. Great. Cool. Yeah, I placed my tokens, and it attacks primarily using its... What is this? It's command stone feet. Staying where it is at the entrance to the temple. When I am within melee range, it will use its shrapnel burst attack on me. It has 3 of these attacks. If you leave its melee range, it uses swipe as an opportunity attack. When it's out of shrapnel attacks, it will use Command Stone as its default attack. If you feel this option is beyond you, you can flee the area. The Storm Stone will get 1 Hurtle Stone attack with advantage, then return to entry 78 without taking a progress point. Okay. So I can at least try to deal some damage here and see how we do. But basically first it's going to attack me. So let's see if that even happens. Okay. Command Stone. The Storm Stone can command any stone within sight to rise and hurtle at you within 60 feet. The target makes an insight check, DC 10, to see where the Storm Stone is directing its power. On a fail, the Storm Stone makes the attack with advantage. The first time the Storm Stone uses this attack, it is with advantage. Interesting. So I guess there's some stuff going on. Okay. To rise. I guess I make an insight check. So that's a 12. That beats the DC, but I think he still gets to use the attack with advantage because it is the first time. Hurtle Stone. Okay, with advantage. 16 plus 5 is what, 21? Yeah, he definitely hits me. Great. And that is... oh, max damage. Oh. Cool. I am going to... wow. Okay, I guess I'm just gonna rush up and attack, and let's just see how that goes. I will attack with my longsword two-handed and hope I get a hit. No, that's a miss. That's a 2. Gosh. I could. Oh man. Gosh. Okay. Okay. I could try to, like, what should I try to do? No, I'm not a fighter. I don't have action surge. Well, you know, I guess I'm just here and I've made a mistake. And that's good. Ooh. I'm in trouble. I am in trouble. What are my spells? What is... Nope, that's not what I want to do. What is this spell? It's a bonus action. I'm gonna... No, I don't want to cast... because I have to do stuff. I've got all these different quests I could do tonight, so I'm not gonna do anything. I might flee on the next turn. We'll see. Now I succeeded on that insight check, so... oh, I think it just doesn't matter on the first one. Okay, so he's within range of me, so now he is going to use his shrapnel burst on his turn. Gosh, okay. When you are within melee range, it will use shrapnel burst attack on you. it has 3 of these attacks. If you leave its melee range, it uses swipe as an opportunity attack. Shrapnel burst. This is where I'm confused. It says shrapnel burst twice per day. The storm stone sends out a blast of shrapnel from its body. Dexterity saving throw, DC 14, 2d6 plus 3 piercing damage. So, is it 3 or is it 2? This is what I don't understand. I guess he's just gonna use that once. So I'm gonna make a dexterity saving throw. Now I roll well. So that's a success. 2d6 plus 3 or half as much. So it'll be half. It's 10, so it'll be 5 points. You know what? I'm gonna run. I'm gonna leave because I think this guy will kill me. He certainly could take me out just on the next turn alone. So I'm gonna flee. And he is going to get... yeah, he's gonna get an attack of opportunity, which is swipe. He misses, so that's good. So I'm fleeing, I'm running away. Now he does, I guess, like, it's my action to flee. And as I'm running away, he's going to get 1 hurdle stone attack. With advantage as I leave. So let's see how that goes. Man, this was a mistake. I really want to know what's in there, though. Yeah, that's gonna hit. Oh my gosh, please don't be max damage again. That was brutal the first time. D8. Okay. I will survive this. 4 plus 3 is 7. Ooh. 7 damage as I run. I'm sitting at 9 hit points right now, by the way. So, yeah. I'm gonna flee. I'm gonna change all this music back. And we're gonna go back to how things were before. Alright. 78. That did not work out in my favor at all. You know what? Before I do anything else, I am going to do some lay on hands. Honestly, I'm gonna give myself all of it. Yep. So, full lay on hands. So I'm at least back to something a little bit closer to normal. Yeah. Okay. You make your way past the common quarter into the ravaged, rubble-strewn landscape of the South City ruins. From what you have gathered during your time here, there was a great invasion. I think I read all of this last time. So, I very quickly am going to investigate the stone houses because I passed that up to go check out the temple ruins. Okay, you move amongst the destroyed remnants of these houses, seeing the scars of battle everywhere. There's little to be seen. War has all but leveled the place. Make an investigation check. Let's do that. That's pretty good. Investigation. Hang on. Where's my investigation? Investigation. That is a 16. If I score 14 or above, go to 206. You move through the various houses and turn up a few interesting items. 15 gold. Nice. 15 gold. 32 silver. and a set of 5 daggers and a belt. Ooh, that's nice. 5 daggers and belt. I'm totally writing this in the wrong notebook. And a strange artifact that gives you pause. A piece of wood. Likely part of a chest or table at some point in the past, with markings on it. Someone has carved a bird's head, a raven's head actually, totally black into the wood. And something has been written next to it in a language you don't see every day. Do I know the language Undercommon? Or do I know the spell Comprehend Languages? I don't. I do not. Oh, there was something for sale called Helm of Comprehending. I didn't buy that, but now I kind of want to. That's okay. I have it, and I could potentially learn to comprehend it later. So let me write all this down again. So let me pause for a second while I put all of this in my inventory. Okay, so I've done that. I need to roll like 3 random encounters that I forgot to do. So I'm going to do that. 2 in North Zhentil and 1 in South. So let's do that. D6. 6. 234. You are passing through an area populated with many large stone monuments. It appears to be some sort of memorial to past battles. Rows of pillars are adorned with plaques celebrating the deeds of various heroes. Here and there are little alcoves where city folk can pay respects to the fallen, with gifts of flowers and incense, a kind of open-air temple to battles past. There is an air of reverence in this eerily quiet stretch of street. Suddenly, it goes utterly quiet, and you find yourself wondering where everyone has gone. Oh, I hope I don't get hurt. No. Unsuccessful perception check. I got an 8. The DC was 19, which is bad. You continue walking toward the end of the open-air temple. Weird question. Does your character have hair? If so, go to 152. I do have hair. You feel something on the back of your neck. No more than a breath of air. Quickly whipping around, you draw your weapon and reflexively lash out at whatever presence is behind you. But too late. Whatever you felt is gone. You reach up to feel the back of your neck, sensing something is definitely amiss. Moving your hand around, you realize there is a little less hair than there was before. A lock of your hair is missing. Appalled, you quicken your pace. This cannot be good. Note the code word memento on your character sheet. Oh, I hate that. I hate that. This is unsettling because, for those familiar with the spell scrying, that could be used to spy on me, which could be really, really bad. If it's not for that purpose, then it's just really creepy and unsettling. It implies that somebody is here and has some interest in me that's abnormal. I don't like that. So that happened somewhere in northern Zhentil. I need to roll another random encounter for the northern part of town as well. 2. Go to 378. Okay, You make your way through the narrow streets of Zhentil Keep, on your way to your next destination. Suddenly you hear a cry of alarm coming from ahead. You run towards the sound, which seems to be coming from the next street over. Ducking down an alleyway, you emerge in a smaller lane that runs through the center of the city block. The cries are coming from up ahead, and you are now close enough that you can make out words. "Help! I'm being attacked! Help! Someone, please!" You come to a stop at an alleyway entrance. Halfway down, a large rat-like humanoid stabs at a cowering old man with a dagger and gnashes at him with long, menacing teeth that drip saliva. At the other end of the alley, a Zhentiler soldier, sword drawn, watches the whole thing. What do you do? Okay. So, option 1, I can yell at the soldier to help the poor old man. Option 2, I can help the old man by attacking the rat creature. Go to Dire Rat Overlord combat sheet. I kind of want to yell at that soldier and be like, hey, help this guy. At the very least, maybe that would help. Hey, you shout at the Zhentiler soldier. You're the city guard. Help this citizen. And get in the way of those teeth. I say, help this citizen. He says, and get in the way of those teeth? The Zhentiler scoffs. No chance. The old man continues to plead with both of you to help him. Yeah, I'm gonna attack. I gotta help this guy. 302, move forward to fight the rat creature and save the old man. Go to Dire Rat Overlord combat sheet. Good lord. I don't have a token for a Dire Rat Overlord. But I'll do my best, guys. I'm just gonna use a red dot for the Dire Rat guy, and let's just see how this guy goes. So he is an AC of 13, which isn't much, and he has 24 health, which is actually what I am sitting at right now. Okay, so the were-rat gnashes at you with its vicious incisors as you come near. Place tokens where they're supposed to be. I've done that. And roll initiative. So let's see how this goes. I won initiative, which is great. That's gonna really help us out. So did that. Now, it says roll stealth, DC 12, to see if you can creep up on the Overlord who is busy attacking the old man. If you can, make one attack with advantage before starting the initiative order. Once you have engaged in battle, the Overlord will always move to you to make melee attacks unless you engage it. Melee or ranged, it will not fight you in melee. It has no ranged attacks. It will continue to harass the old man. Okay, so I can try to roll stealth. This is not going to go well because I have to roll stealth at disadvantage, but we'll see. No, that does not work out. So I don't get like a surprise attack on it, but I do get my normal attack. So let's do that, and let's do a two-handed longsword attack. Yep, that is a dirty 20 to hit, and let's do that. D10, 4, 5, 6, 7. That is my dog having a drink of water in the background. You know what? Why don't I do a little bit of Divine Smite as well? Try to even the odds here. Can expend one spell slot. Okay. 2, 6, 7, 8. Okay. That might have been a bad idea, but we'll see. Yeah, I've kind of been using my spell slots today. This is not good. Okay. I did that. It's turn now, so oh, and I guess I should have moved myself up to it. 5, 10, 15, 20, 20. So I'm in range with it now. Okay, on its first turn, as a bonus action, it will make a high-pitched piercing noise, raising its snout into the air. It is a 60% chance of summoning a rat swarm to assist him in combat. Oh, that's not good. So I have to roll a d100, and if I get a 60 or under, then a swarm of rats appears in 1d4 rounds. I'm gonna die. Like I'm gonna die. Okay, let me pull out. I normally use an app for D100. So let's do that. Yeah, rat swarm is gonna show up in, let's see, 3 rounds. Maybe if I kill it before that happens, it'll be fine. Cool. Well, that was its bonus action. Did I just say bonus action? Bonus action. So now it's gonna attack me for real. Makes 2 attacks. A bite attack and a dagger attack. So first attack, bite. Miss. Second attack, dagger. Miss. Cool. My turn. Plus, let's see. Actions. It's a 12 to hit that's gonna miss. Cool. Cool. Oh, I just read something. Okay, so halfway through the fight, the Zhentiller guard is going to disappear, perhaps worried that if you beat the Overlord, then he will look bad for shirking his city guard responsibilities. Whatever. This next one's interesting. Do you have a dire rat trap? If so, you could show it to the beast to taunt it. Taking it out is a free action, and then the Overlord must succeed on a wisdom save. DC 13, or be enraged for 1 turn. Its attacks will be at disadvantage as a result. Every time you move, roll on the random table below. I gotta read these things, like, before I fight, because I've moved already, so let's do that. 2 feral dog comes into the fray and starts savaging someone. Roll a d4. It's the Overlord. Roll a d4 to see if it attacks the Overlord or you. Oh god. Oh, please attack this rat. Okay. When I moved up, a feral dog jumped out of nowhere and started attacking this rat guy. The bitten party takes 1d4 damage per round until it deals with the dog, which has an AC of 10. Okay. It's takes 1d4 minus 1 damage. Okay, so he takes 2 points of damage, which is fun. Cool. And then I am gonna pull out this rat trap as a free action and taunt it. So let's make a wisdom save for this guy. Oh, I rolled really well. Yeah, so he succeeded on the wisdom. That's fine. The dog will help with that. So I guess he's gonna try to attack the dog. So first action, bite. He actually misses the dog. Let's go again. That he will hit the dog. Hits the dog with a bite. 5, 6, 7. Okay. Rat kills the dog. R.I.P. dog. My turn. Two-handed. Let's go again. Okay. +6. Yes, I hit, which is good. And let's do... I need to switch D10s. Oh, I think I may have done it. Let's see. Minus... Yeah. That was enough to kill it outright. Perfect. Fantastic. So, he's dead. Technically, the rats would appear next. The swarm of rats would appear next. So that's great. I guess I'll go ahead and do that. So we'll have a swarm of rats appear. It only seems fair. They've been summoned. Might as well have to fight them. We'll put them, like, at the end of the alley or something like that. So on this turn, I need to roll initiative for them. So let's see what happens. Okay, yeah. I kill the guy. The rats rush up and are going to attack me. Yeah. They're gonna try to bite me. They're gonna miss. I'm gonna try to attack them. I'm gonna hit. Let's use a different D10 this time because that other one wasn't doing super great for me. That's much better. So that's a 9 plus 4 is 13. Okay, so once it gets hurt a certain amount, it will deal less damage. And actually, I have injured it enough to where the next time it attacks, which is coming up next, it's not going to be as effective. So I've taken out like half of the rats in this swarm. It tries to attack me. That's a 13, which is not going to hit me. I'm going to attack it. And I hit. And I... minimum damage, but that's fine. 5 points of damage. Its turn. Gosh, it just can't hit me. My turn. Ooh, nat 1. So that's a no. Its turn. Miss. My turn. Yes, that'll be a hit. And that will be... yeah, it's dead. Alright, so finally, after us sort of missing and dodging each other, I finally deal the killing blow and take out this swarm of rats. Very nice. I am victorious. Let's, change the music back and resume our like playthrough of these random encounters to see how things turn out for me. Okay, with one final attack you slay the rat-like creature and the swarm. It drops to the ground and immediately, as if from nowhere, Hundreds of rats appear and begin devouring the carcass. Shuddering with disgust, you turn and see the old man, cowering against the wall of the alley. Quickly, you go to him. Thank you, he breathes, beside himself with gratitude for you. Why was it attacking you, you ask. I'm a maker of dire rat traps, he says. My son sells them at the market. They're intelligent creatures, those rats. He must have been lying here and waiting for me. I don't know how to thank you. I have very little money. Here. The old man passes you a small whistle hung on a cord around his neck. Take it. If you're ever in a situation where you're surrounded by rats, blow on this thing. They can't stand the sound of it. Not that big one, though. Didn't seem to affect that thing. Nodding, you accept the gift, although you're not sure how effective it will be, and help the old man to his feet. Add rat whistle to your inventory. Okay. Rat whistle. Great. Perfect. Now I've got one more encounter that I need to roll out, and this will be for the southern part of the city. So let's figure that out. So, let's see what happens. It's a D6. 4. Go to 220. Okay, you are in South Zhentil. Stopping where you are, you look back toward North Zhentil, across the bridge that spans the River Tesh. The day has become fine, and from here Zhentil looks picturesque. Friendly even. Towers adorn the skyline, and beyond that, you can see the foothills of the Dragonspire Mountains in the distance. Then your attention is drawn to a figure on the bridge. They are too far away to see properly, but something about them feels off. I can move along quickly if I wish, or I can stand and wait to see if the person does anything. Make an insight check. Yeah, I want to see what they're doing. Gonna make an insight check. Ooh, nice. A natural 19. If I score 12 or above, go to 273. You move a little closer to the bridge and notice the figure is not moving. It is really impossible to tell what they are, as their robe covers all facial and bodily details, but whatever is under there is completely still. A slight breeze moves the fabric of the robe, but it is as if it's draped over a statue. The figure is unnaturally motionless. Okay, do I leave? Or do I approach the figure on the bridge? I'm gonna approach because I don't know what's happening in this town and I want to find out, so I'm going to approach. Casually. Yeah, super casually. You move onto the bridge and begin walking at a moderate pace towards the middle of the bridge, as you simply mean to return to the North City. Out of your peripheral vision, you keep one eye on the figure on the bridge. Now that you are closer, you can see that whoever stands there is draped in a voluminous robe that conceals not only their face, but also the shape of their body. You continue to walk, but then, when you are right beside them, you suddenly turn and move to tap them on the shoulder. But the robe crumples under your hand. Whatever or whoever was holding it up is now gone. You look around, but all you can see are city folks strolling across the bridge, merchants pushing carts. It's as if the whole incident was only visible to you and you alone. Who or what was this figure? I can make a history roll, and if I'm successful, I could potentially learn some more information. I probably won't be successful, because intelligence is my dump stat. But Who knows? I could roll really well. Okay, I got a 15 minus 1 is 14. The DC was 15. I am unsuccessful. Ugh. Gosh. I have done all the things I can do today. I'm only allowed to do like X number of things. I've gone to 4 different places. In the last episode, you might remember I went to Arcana Lane, bought some potions, and stuff like that. I went to the Market Square, bought some random stuff, and then I went to Scimitar Street to check out the weapons and armor, but wasn't necessarily able to find anything super great, but that's fine. And then I went to the South City Ruins. So I've done my 4 things I'm allowed to do for the day, and now I get to go home to where I stayed last night. So, here we go. You make your way through the streets of the River City, heading quickly back to the inn where you stayed last night. You greet the innkeep with a curt nod and pay for another night's accommodations and make your way to your room, drawing the curtains. You are happy to see your room and quickly bed down to get some rest. Activate any code words you possess from the list below. Note down this entry if you have more than one, so you can return here. Okay, so I can do more than one. Okay, I have like 3 that I could do. I have Spectre Quest, Dock Rescue, and Help Wendell. Gosh. I want to prioritize Dock Rescue and possibly Spectre Quest. Spectre Quest has a reward tied to it. And it's resulted in like 3 people dying. And then the Dock Rescue involves a girl that's been kidnapped. So I kind of want to prioritize those. I do want to help Wendell out as well, but I want to prioritize those specifically first. Let's do the Dock Rescue first. So, Dock Rescue. Entry 93. Erase the word Dock Rescue from your character sheet. Ganadir Dorfalin's words come back to you. Meet us in the large warehouse to the northeast of East Dock, an hour before midnight. You stay in your room for a few hours, resting, thinking about the events of the day, and eventually doze off into a light slumber. Recover HP from this short rest as per usual rules. Perfect. Short rest. Okay. So I had a nice little short rest and back to full health, which is great. Okay. You wake much later and go quickly to the window. The darkened sky is smothered with clouds, but you can see the moon shining through, like a gray smudge on the surface of night. From its position, you reckon the time to be just over an hour to midnight. Realizing you have little time, you equip yourself and make your way quietly out the inn and back onto the much quieter nighttime streets of Zhentil Keep. Go to 243. It has been raining while you've been resting at the inn, and the streets are slick with rainwater. It runs down the gutters, cleansing the filth of the day away, but not the filth of corruption, if Ganadir's story is anything to go by. Slaves sold up and down the River Tesh and around the Moon Sea. Stories of slavery were becoming rarer in Faerun, thank the gods, at least within your knowledge. You knew the Drow kept slaves of all races, and in certain far-flung realms it was still legal. But children being sold as slaves, shipped like cargo down the River Tesh? The thought was horrific. You are determined to do whatever you can to stop this barbaric practice. You see the docks ahead and soon reach the end of the street, where you turn left. Despite the late hour, the riverside docks are still fairly busy. To your right, as you walk, gangs of workers load and unload crates from the ships, ferried to and from the docks by a steady flow of carts and wagons. Zhentil Keep is obviously a major trading center for the Moonsea region. You remember Ganadir told you to meet him in the large warehouse to the northeast of Eastdock, and so it is east you head. Keeping to the shadows to avoid attention, after some time you see Eastdock ahead and the large warehouse Ganadir spoke of. Just before you reach the block it is on, you duck down an alleyway to your left and make your way around the back of the building, where you find a sturdy wooden door. You try the handle. It's locked. What now? I don't have thieves' tools, so my only option is to knock lightly. So I'm gonna do that. You very quietly, so as not to attract any attention from the docks, knock on the wooden door. You wait a few minutes, but no one answers. Go to 473. Dang. 473. Wondering what you should do next, you look all around and then spy a window about 12 feet above the door. This area is stacked with crates, so getting up there shouldn't be too difficult, but getting down once inside the warehouse might be a different story. You climb up various crates and reach the window in a matter of moments. Once through the window, however, you see there is a 12-foot drop to the floor. Oh, if you land and roll, you might be able to minimize any potential harm you do to yourself. Bracing yourself, you drop from the window, preparing yourself to roll out of the landing. Make an acrobatics check. DC 8. So, it's not too bad. I rolled a 2. Plus 1 is 3. That's a D4, minus 1 of fall damage. 2 minus 1. I took a point of damage. Okay, then proceed to 415. Inside, you find a huge warehouse space, half filled with wooden crates of all sizes. From the far side of the cavernous building, you hear lowered voices, and you proceed cautiously, keeping a watch on all sides, following the voices. Gradually they get louder until you can tell that the speakers must be close. You round a corner, and there is Ganadir leaning on a crutch, accompanied by a much younger-looking dwarf. Told me that we would meet. Ganadir catches sight of you and gets a bit of a fright. Oh, that wasn't like an that was like a nearly falling over. You glance down and see that although his leg is missing, he still carries a short sword and hand axe. You don't doubt the old veteran could give most corners a pretty good run for their money. Outlander, meet my nephew, Danadir, son of Baladir. The younger, red-bearded dwarf steps forward, preferring a thick, meaty hand. Pleasure, he says gruffly. Danadir is thick-shouldered and carries an ornate battle axe across his back. He comes near you. Nope. As he comes near, you see the grip and pommel are inscribed with dwarvish runes. With arms like thick tree boughs, you have no doubt he wields it well. The three of you go to a grimy window that looks out over the east dock. Keeping his voice low, Ganadir tells you to follow. Tells you the following. See that ship there? Called the Mulemaster. Nope. Called the Mulemaster Pride. You know what? Maybe I should ditch the accent. See that ship there called the Mulemaster Pride. Looks like a logging ship, doesn't it? You look closer and see that the deck is stacked with logs and crates. From the outside, at least, it looks like any ordinary freight vessel, and you express as much to the old dwarf. He shakes his head. "It's a slaver ship," he says flatly. "Zhentarim. Marsh Bellwintle, the Zhentarim slave lord. He does a steady trade in slaves of all races, all around this area. Been operating for years, with a Manshoon's blessing. Anyway, the wee lass we've come here to save, she's below decks. And there's others too. Children, men, women. Whatever the customers want." You scowl at this and restate your desire to help free these slaves, thinking to yourself that whoever is responsible for this must be made to pay, and dearly. You ask Ganadir what his plan is. "Well," he says, "we should go the dwarvish route and simply hack our way in and out, but I feel a little strategy might not go amiss here." Ganadir looks a bit deflated at this. "But uncle!" "Hush, boy!" Ganadir snaps, and Ganadir does just that. "The way I see it," the veteran continues, "there are two ways we could proceed here. See those workers?" He indicates. "The two of you could both join them, in disguise. But you'd have to leave weapons and armor here." Ganadir gestures to his short sword. "Use this if you like. Easily concealable. On your pants leg. And then you find some way to get aboard, get beneath the decks and free those prisoners." "What's the other option?" Ganadir asks, not looking too thrilled about the prospect of giving up his precious battle axe. "The other option is this. See the crates there, getting loaded aboard. You and Ganadir both nod." Oh, I did that in voice. You and Ganadir both nod. Outside, there are stacks of crates getting loaded on board the cargo ship. "One of you could fit inside one of these smaller crates." Ganadir continues, gesturing to a stack of boxes nearby in the warehouse. "No prizes for guessing who," he adds, raising an eyebrow at his nephew. "Then you, Outlander, will take on one of those loading trolleys and get it aboard somehow. Say it's for the captain or something. Take it to the back and then crack it open and get below decks easily. You'll be found out eventually, of course, but the more time you go undiscovered, the better. Hence the need for subterfuge." You nod appreciatively at the old dwarf's plans. He's done this sort of thing before, it would seem. "What if we're discovered before we free the girl?" Ganadir asks. "Then hack your way out," Ganadir says bluntly. And Ganadir beams at this prospect. "But do not leave that ship without Annika's girl. I'm not going to her with that news. Never fear, uncle. We'll get her back," Ganadir says, and then turns to you. "I like the second plan better," he says directly. "The one where I get to keep my battle axe." You nod, and the magnitude of your task becomes apparent. Returning a young girl to her mother, and if you can free others in the process, all the better. Now comes the choice. Which plan of Ganadir's are you going with? Okay. I could go with the crate, or we could disguise ourselves. The thing is, I don't want to leave my armor or weapons behind. That's like my leg up, is that. That's what makes me most effective. So I think I want to go with the crate option. And most likely that could involve some sort of like deception or persuasion to get that dolly trolley thing on board, but I have good charisma, so I kind of want to do that. I don't think I want to go the workers route. I just think it's a little too cloak and dagger for my... Oh man, but I would have to fight myself out. Fight my way out. Maybe I should do that. Because I potentially could not fight? Ooh, okay, gosh. I'm probably gonna get discovered either way. Don't you think? The two of you could both join them in disguise, and you'd have to leave your weapons and armor here. Then you find some way to get aboard, get beneath the docks, free those prisoners. I think I'm going to get found out either way, so I'm going to go with the one that lets me keep my weapons. Oh, I hate this, but I'm doing it. I'm committing. Okay, the three of you move to a nearby stack of small crates. Danadir enthusiastically grabs a nearby crowbar and pries the top off one of them. It is empty apart from packing straw, and the stocky dwarf climbs in, giving his battle axe a quick pat to check that it's there before motioning for you to shut the lid. You throw your weapons and armor in there first, then put the lid on and secure it with just 2 nails, banging them in with the pommel of Ganadir's basic short sword. Loading it onto a trolley, you wheel it to a door that opens onto the dock. "Go with the gods, Outlander," Ganadir says, and then pulls the door open for you. It is a simple matter to blend in with the general traffic on the docks. No one gives you a second look as you wind your way toward the gangplank, pulling the loaded trolley behind you. A large man, possibly the quartermaster, stops you as you go to ascend the ramp up towards the ship's top deck. "What's in there?" he asks, giving the crate a look over. "Provisions," you say in your best Zhentil accent. "Captain supplies." The man backs away, putting his hands up. "All right, don't want to keep the captain from his rum. On you get, matey." You drag the trolley up the gangplank on the deck. It is a lot quieter. Only 3 or 4 crew are present, most of them busy with their duties. You walk the crate to the front of the boat, where other crates are stacked, and quickly get the lid off. Danadir stands, stretching his back, then vaults over the side of the crate, surprisingly agile for a dwarf. You retrieve your weapons and armor from the bottom of the crate and quickly don them. "Hurry, hurry!" Danadir urges as you pull your armor on. Nearby is a square trapdoor, likely leading down to the lower decks. You move quickly to it and open it, and lower yourself down. Go to entry 34. You are below deck in a stifling hot, cramped space, and the smell is not pleasant. Making your way quickly along, you see cells on both sides of the tight passage that runs down the middle of the ship. The barred cells hold prisoners, slumped, dejected figures, their clothes and hair messy and disheveled. Each cell holds at least half a dozen prisoners who have been provided with 2 buckets, one for containing water, the other for containing, well, you'd hate to think. The sight of these poor degraded souls makes your blood boil, and you quickly inspect the locks. From above, you hear noise and the sound of feet running on deck. You must act quickly. If you used the disguise plan, your only weapon is Ganadir's short sword, unless you are a magic user, of course, or you possess some other weapon with the light property, which could have been easily concealed. If you came down the ladder after being recognized, go to Zentarum Slaver combat sheet. Otherwise, go to 41. I haven't been recognized yet. The cells are all kept locked by 2 master latches at the ends of the rows. They are fairly sturdy, but a few well-placed blows would smash them. However, you must act quickly if you are to free these prisoners before the slavers arrive. The master latches are quite sturdy and have an AC of 12 and HP of 15. You and Danadir take a latch each and go to work on them. You have 3 rounds to destroy the latches and may use bonus actions if they are available to you, using any weapon you have to hand, including magical attacks. However, if you have the item Skeleton Key in your inventory, you easily get both latches undone. That was okay, interesting. Okay, make 3 attacks. Alright. First one. Yep, I definitely hit. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 points. They have how much health? 15. So that's one round. I hit again. Okay, I think total that was 16 points. So that should destroy that lock. Danadir and you take a latch each. Okay. So I got mine destroyed. Make 3 attacks, and then, successful or not, go to Zhentil's Slaver combat sheet. Okay, so, regardless, I am gonna have to fight this guy. So, I have one strike really damage the lock, get one more strike in, it breaks. We'll say Danadir does the same. The slavers descend the ladder, alerted to your presence. Out, scum! One barks at you and Danadir. Leave the merchandise be, or you'll be tossed to the Kraken. Woo! Place tokens on the map and roll initiative. We're going to pick up with this next time, where I'm going to take out these slavers and make good on, you know, everything I promised to this woman who's trying to get her daughter back. And we'll see how I do. Yeah, this is fun. Alright, so I'm taking on the Zhentil slavers here. Hopefully next time I can see if I can track down this horned guy, assuming I don't die in this fight. Yeah, it should be interesting. If you enjoyed this, if you're interested in seeing me continue this story, please like and subscribe. Leave me a comment down below. But yeah, with all of that out of the way, I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I will see you again next time. Yeah, I'm really interested to see what was in that temple that I didn't get into. I'm really frustrated about that. Also, this, like, thing that was on the bridge, and then the thing that took my hair, that's uncomfortable. Something is going on in this town, and I don't know what it is. And it seems like somebody's watching me, or interested in me specifically, and that is very unsettling. So hopefully I can get to the bottom of that. And I also wonder how this Horned Spectre factors into all of this. Anyway, hopefully we'll figure out some more answers next time. See you later, guys.